Discipline is rare. That's why it's powerful. Every year, millions of people decide to change their life, and almost all of them will quit within weeks, not because they lack talent or the odds were impossible. They quit because the motivation that got them started eventually ran out. But there's also a different set of people, a small number of people that don't quit. They keep showing up long after the excitement fades, and what separates them from everyone else isn't talent or a lucky break. It's something almost nobody wants to talk about, because it's not exciting. It's not glamorous, and most people would rather fail than face it. Chapter 1. The muscle no one wants to train. Here's the lie most people believe. Discipline is something you're either born with or you're not. Some people just have it together, and the rest of us are stuck waiting for motivation to show up and save the day. That's not how it works. Discipline is like a muscle. It doesn't appear overnight, and it doesn't come from one big burst of willpower. It's built through repetition. The same boring rep performed again and again until it stops feeling like effort. Researchers at University College London tracked people trying to build new daily habits and found it took an average of 66 days before an action started to feel automatic, not 21 days, which is the number most people have heard and believed for years. 66. For some people, it took nearly a year. The habit doesn't just arrive one fine day. It is built over time. David Goggins understood this before most people had ever heard his name. In his mid-20s, he was nearly 300 pounds, working an exterminator job, and about as far from disciplined as a person could look on paper. He wanted to become a Navy SEAL, and he got there by losing over 100 pounds in roughly 3 months through relentless daily repetition, showing up to train even on the days his body and mind were begging him to stop. That's the part nobody wants to hear. Discipline isn't a personality trait you're missing. It's repetition even when your motivation has run out. Every generation gets sold the same lie in a different package. Things like the crash diet, the get-rich-quick scheme, or the overnight success story that conveniently leaves out the 10 years of failure before the thing that finally worked. The reality is, it never works. And there's decades of research explaining exactly why. In the late 1960s, psychologist Walter Mischel ran what became known as the marshmallow test. Children were given one marshmallow, with a promise: wait alone in the room without eating it, and you'll get a second one later. Some kids ate the marshmallow immediately. Others found ways to wait, distracting themselves, looking away, holding out for the bigger reward. Years later, researchers followed up with those same kids. The ones who had been able to delay gratification as children went on to show better outcomes across school, relationships, and life in general. The shortcut always feels smarter in the moment, but it almost never is. Choosing the path built on responsibility, structure, and consistent effort is slower and far less satisfying to talk about, but it's also the only path that actually leads anywhere real. Knowing this doesn't make it easy, though. Understanding that shortcuts fail doesn't automatically make the hard path feel any less exhausting. So what actually gets someone to choose the hard path, day after day, long after the initial motivation is gone? It comes down to something most people dismiss: consistency. Nobody gets inspired watching someone do their laundry, follow a meal plan, or go to bed on time. There's no highlight reel for consistency. And that's exactly why almost nobody sticks with it. But your dream life is built out of these unremarkable, forgettable days. Waking up when the alarm goes off instead of negotiating with yourself. Working through the to-do list even when nothing on it feels urgent. Eating the meal you planned instead of the one that's easier or more tempting. None of it is impressive in isolation, but eventually it all compounds. Kobe Bryant lived this in a way that became almost mythical inside the NBA. During a Team USA training camp ahead of the 2008 Olympics, his teammates walked into breakfast to find him already finishing a full workout, hours before anyone else had even woken up. That wasn't a one-time stunt for the cameras. Waking up at 4 in the morning to train was simply what Bryant did, long before anyone was watching, and long after he'd already won championships and had nothing left to prove. But consistency has a blind spot. It can quietly trick even the most disciplined people into performing for the wrong audience. Here's where discipline quietly falls apart for a lot of people who seem to have it figured out. They build the routine, they put in the reps, but they're doing it to prove something to someone else. It could be a parent, a critic, an ex, an audience that may not even be paying attention. And the moment that audience stops watching or stops approving, the whole structure collapses because it was never actually theirs to begin with. Psychologists who study motivation draw a sharp line between two kinds of drive. One is external, chasing approval, recognition, and someone else's applause. The other is internal, doing the work because it matters to you, independent of who's watching. The research is consistent on which one actually lasts. Internal motivation survives criticism, bad days, and silence. External motivation needs an audience to survive, and we all know audiences are unreliable. Becoming the architect of your own life means building your routine, facing your own fears, and mastering your own standards, without needing anyone's permission or applause to keep going. Because at some point, you have to stop asking whether the world is watching, and start asking whether what you're building will actually hold up when no one is. Unleash it. Now let's go back to where we started. Millions of people chasing a better version of themselves, and almost all of them quitting within weeks, all because of a lack of discipline, the one thing that is truly in your control. The people who don't quit aren't more gifted than you. They just treat discipline like a muscle instead of a personality trait. They reject the shortcut, even when it is right there. They show up for the boring, forgettable days that never make it into anyone's highlight reel. And they stop needing an audience to keep going. You can do that too, starting today. Not next Monday, not after one more last easy day. Today, stop negotiating with yourself. Stop waiting to feel ready. The excuses you've been recycling for months will still be there tomorrow if you let them. So don't let them. Do the hard thing today, and do it again tomorrow. Let the reps stack up until discipline simply becomes who you are.